So a month ago, I saw one of the greatest movies of the year. Did I say a month ago? Because it was actually in April. It is July now. And it is still one of the greatest movies of the year. Actually, I have all the movies of the year ranked, so let me see what I have it at. Movies of the year so far. I always keep a list of movies that came out in that year, which is 2018. So I have a list of movies that came out in 2018 that I've seen, all ranked. And then I have a separate list that's movies that I saw for the first time in 2018, ranked. So, A Quiet Place, I have it ranked the second best movie of the year. And the first best movie of the year for me was Avengers Infinity War. I absolutely love that movie. And A Quiet Place is not far behind it. And the ironic thing is I saw them both the same day. A Quiet Place, for my movies I saw for the first time in 2018, the best movie I've seen so far this year is 3 Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri, and that came out last year. And then Avengers Infinity War, and then A Quiet Place. So, still one of the best movies of the year. And my list, it's not short, you know, it's a pretty extensive list. I don't know if you could actually see it, but the point is, this movie is phenomenal. John Krasinski did an absolutely brilliant job with this movie. I left the theater shaking because of how good it was. Not because I was scared, not for any reason other than my amazement at how good this movie was. Oh my gosh, it was so good. So I think that John Krasinski was absolutely brilliant. I say that a lot. John Krasinski did a great job directing and acting in this. This is my spoiler review. So my one problem with the movie, my only one, is how emotionally attached I was, which honestly is a great thing. It's a great thing because I was so into this movie. But I think that he could have, the lead character that John Krasinski played, what was his name? I guess they didn't really say names at all. They didn't, like, you never knew that their names were Evelyn and Lee Abbott. And then the kids are all Regan, Marcus, and Bo. Like, that's it. Yeah, it's just the 5-6 people in the movie because Man in the Woods. But I think that Lee Abbott definitely could have made noise, like, away from him and then tried to get away from the monster. Like, to pull it away from his kids, but still, you know, escape and live and survive. But I don't know if it would have been as good if he did. If he hadn't died at the end of that movie, I think that I would have had a problem with it. Like, I think I would have thought, this is too happy of an ending. He definitely should have died. So, another reason why this movie I gave 5 stars. It is one of 2 movies, I think, that I've given 5 stars. Yeah. It was, oh my gosh. It has set the bar so high for all of scary thriller movies for me. The logic behind everything was perfect. Like, how the higher frequency of the hearing aid affects the monsters. Is that what we're calling them? Is just monsters? Yeah, it's just monsters with ultra sensitive hearing. So yeah, and I love this movie so much, but it has also been 4 months since I've seen it. It is so good. What did it end up getting on Rotten Tomatoes? 95%. Wow. It it was so scary, and the theater that I was in, I showed up 10 minutes late to the movie, which doesn't usually happen, but it was a friend of mine's, or my closest friend. It was his birthday, and his girlfriend had taken him out to dinner, and then they were picking me up to go see A Quiet Place. And they were late, but it's fine. It's fine. Totally fine. Because I still loved it. If I had had the first 10 minutes, I think I would have loved it more. And I don't know how that's possible. But we walk in late, and the girl that I'm with, this my best friend's girlfriend, Alyssa. Fucking Alyssa. She's sitting there talking to me and her boyfriend the whole time. And I'm like, dude, it's A Quiet Place. Like, there's a bunch of people in this theater. We're trying to experience it. And it was terrifying in the theater because of the quiet. Like, you can't watch A Quiet Place in a loud environment. Like, I could not do it if it wasn't so quiet, because the quiet makes it perfect. Absolutely perfect. Yeah, so I think the logic worked out really, really well. I know that was a while ago, but I've got my notes here, and it's been months. Everything in it made sense, and I love that. When scary movies put everything together and make it all make sense, it is perfect. And the kids in this movie, the kids who played the two, Regan and Marcus, Millicent Simmons and Noah Jupe. Oh my gosh. These are probably my favorite kid actors ever. The kids were freaking good. I believed every second of it, and I usually am not a huge fan of child actors or children actors, because I don't think that they fully understand concepts that I think are necessary for actors, especially in horror movies. These kids astounded me. They were probably better than the Losers Club from It, which those kids were really good. But these kids shocked me. Emily Blunt was a genius as well. I forgot to mention that, but I feel like you guys already knew that. Last thing in my notes is that they almost made this a Cloverfield movie, and I am so glad they didn't. I think that if it were a Cloverfield movie, it would have completely ruined it. I think that I could see how they would do it without ruining it, but I much prefer it being its own separate thing. And I think that the way it has ended, I don't know if a sequel would work great. Maybe a prequel. I would definitely be down for a prequel, but then again, I missed the first 10 minutes of the movie, so I'm not sure. But a sequel would just entail them figuring out the frequency thing and then killing them, or whatever they need to do. Whereas a prequel would introduce exactly how this all happened, and I think that it would work great. I think that the community of it, the fact that they all light fires to let people know that they're okay, was great. That's so post-apocalyptic. Like, that is what people would do in a that is what people would do in a post-apocalyptic world. They would form a society and they would make sure each other's safe. Or ideally, that's what people would do. What I don't know, I'm trying to remember, because I just thought about The Man in the Woods, and I'm confused. I'm trying to remember what happened. So, like, his wife, he found his wife dead, and he was ready to die, and he thought he'd take someone with him, so he waited for someone to walk up, and then he screamed. I'm not sure. That's not important because the movie was still freaking brilliant. So back to the Cloverfield thing. The first Cloverfield, everyone loved. I hated the first Cloverfield. I think it would have been an okay movie if it wasn't a found footage film. But because they made it found footage, and it really didn't need to be, because the stupid thing, this is an entirely different review. The fact of the matter is, hated Cloverfield. 10 Cloverfield Lane, loved it. And Cloverfield Paradox, stupidest thing I've ever seen. So this not being a Cloverfield movie puts me to the highest of heights. I love that it wasn't. And I probably would have loved it even if it was, because it's that good of a movie. I feel like I'm missing a lot. Can you blame me? It's been months since I've seen it. But it's still one of the best movies of the year so far. That's all I got. Like, comment, share, subscribe, and have a great day.